right into it. Their players are shuffling up their opponent's decks. Again, this is going to be the mono blue. I don't even know. M Hayashi.
Mono blue control.
Kind is more tempo-y. Mono blue M Hayashi Chalice.
Versus blue white spelling control.
Yes, also on Chalice. Yes,
I
you
think
did.
that looks great.
No, dude, you're totally fine.
All right, players getting all ready to go. I think Skyler. Do we know who was the higher seed?
It's on your phone.
That's correct. It is on my phone. Here we go. So it looks like Drew is the higher seed, so he will be on the play.
Yep.
Notably, Chalice probably dead for both players in this matchup. Definitely, maybe on 2 against the mono blue deck, but a lot of the blues plays are the mono blue deck plays are 3.
Right.
As well as for the blue white control deck, I think a lot of them are 3 as well. So I'd imagine that we're not going to get to a point where Chalice is good.
Right, because that would be something you do on turn 4, and by that point you need to be interacting.
Yeah. So
So.
Yeah, I highly doubt we see Chalices do almost any work in this matchup.
Maybe that's why Drew took a mulligan, even.
Potentially,
right?
Yeah, we did see a Chalice in that hand, so was already a 6, essentially.
So.
I'm sorry. I think we got the music off. Is that better, Tree Seth? Maybe. Silence from chat. Music is off now.
Music is off.
We did turn it off. We did do it after the announcement, though.
Maybe.
I think we should be good now. Drew going down to 6. We did do some attempted fixing on the camera to make it so that there's not as much glare, so we should be able to identify the cards
awesome.
that are on the top right. That's why we had a delay on the camera getting it on for the match here. Stuart does have a hand here. Skyler, our guy on the left, does have a hand that includes Chalice. So effectively on a mold of 6, I think, here as well, unless I have an absolute wrong read on how this matchup is going to go.
Drew going to 5.
That's rough.
Not the way you want to start.
No, especially on the play in a value-oriented match.
Yeah.
Maybe his plan is just to tempo it out, would be my guess. Being on the play, I think, probably matters a ton here. Secondarily, Drew doesn't really have any good ways to remove this Felon. He does have the 2 dismembers in his main deck. But
And all the borrowers, right? Bounce spells.
Bouncing. I think it might just feel like that what happened in that Merc type matchup, though, where I'm going to put this in your hand 1,000 times, but I'm never going to be able to deal with it. This is game 1 of the top 8. So this is the 4-5 seed. Skyler Stewart is the 5 seed. Drew Walden is the 4 seed.
And yeah, we see Chalice going to the bottom.
Yeah, I'm not particularly surprised by that. I don't know if Skyler knows what Drew is playing.
In any case, we're underway.
Yeah, and I think every game we've watched Skyler, he has led
with the Jessica
with the Roger and Triumph. Yeah. So top 8. For a quick recap: Crystal Feltz, Quentin Pierce, Paul Berman, Drew Walden, Skyler Stewart, Braden Derfler, Chris Choi, and Spencer Dunyan. So the 2 folks that we watched in our last match did end up making it. Flash in Borrower, end of turn. My guess is this meets with Counterspell.
Counterspell?
He does. He has the Japanese art for Counterspell. Lets it resolve. He does have Solitude in hand as well, but no white card.
Attack for 3.
I think part of this is that if he had countered the Borrower, I do think that Drew probably would have just slammed a Svelin. Chalice X1. I don't think that does almost anything in this matchup on either side. It makes it so March can't kill a manland for 1 mana, but that only coming out.
You can overpay.
Yeah. I can't think of any ones at all in Drew's deck. Though it's possible just infamiliarity with the list. This mono blue deck is fairly new.
Yeah.
I think only as like 3 weeks ago is when it first started making waves.
I think Drew has a subtlety. Might just be hard casting subtlety here. Oh, deluge.
Deluge. I do double force counterspell in Skyler's hand.
But force is only free on your opponent's turn, if I'm not mistaken. Correct?
Yeah, so
Okay.
he has to counterspell here if he wants to avoid Drew getting the cards. Yeah.
Yeah, so he goes with counterspell.
Does tap him out, though. If Drew deploys a creature here, no creature, draws another counterspell, and now has 5 mana for Solitude.
Okay.
So now, even if Drew counters Solitude, Skyler can force Pitch Force. I assume this is on the end step here.
You have this force?
I have 6 of the top 8 deck lists, and they happen to be not the 2 that are on
Oh
screen.
my goodness.
I absolutely love it.
All right, so we see Solitude, Exile Subtlety.
Yes. Not a very subtle way to deal with it. So yeah, that was on the end step.
Okay. We see Dismember on the
Solitude. Are we gonna see Force Pitch Counterspell? Or is that Force Island Deserted?
Yeah, I think there's
Beach?
2 forces, Island and Deserted Beach is the hand.
So you'd have to Force Pitch Force to protect the Solitude. That feels bad. Going into a turn where you could hold both of them up. But also without a threat, hard to want to commit to that. I think Drew is out of cards too, so he knows that if he counters this Dismember,
He's got a couple. There's a Spreading Season hand, I think.
is there? Oh, he's got it just back further.
Yeah.
Oh, and he just has Force. So Force Pitch Force met with Force of Negation.
Casts the hard way.
Yeah.
We'll throw air quotes on the hard way.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, I think so. Looks like another counterspell for
Yeah, so-
Skyler.
Actually, that might be Counterspell.
Oh, it's a Supreme Verdict. I see.
With the new art.
The new art.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha. Okay, so last card in hand is Counterspell for Stuart.
It's pretty. I mean, it's a pretty good spot.
Yeah.
I think he wants a threat, but
Yeah, doesn't have a Hall in play.
click. Target
Is this-
you.
Click end step? Yeah, I think this is click end step. So, yeah, trying to
we see the counterspell.
decide. Yeah, I think this is good because I think that counterspell is probably going to the bottom if.
Yeah, I would think so too. If the click resolves.
Yeah. 2 mana.
Yep. There's
Spreading
Seas on the
Seas.
red source. I like that.
Cut him off the fire mana. So notably, Stuart does have a Steam Vents in the deck as well.
Okay, good.
He was talking to me in our interview about how he actually cut the breeding pool from the deck, so he can't go to 4 on Prismatic Ending anymore. But he wanted the consistency to be able to cast fire very frequently.
Ooh, and a Fairy Conclave from
That
Drew. That's a great
is
draw.
huge. Depending
So we
on
start getting in these counter spell battles.
So it looks like we have the fire in hand for Stuart, as well as another Solitude. I don't know what the third card is. The Dress Down from his
Okay.
deck. Subtlety met with Solitude. Back up to 22.
And the lifelink on Solitude outraces the Fairy Conclave, I think. So Drew does need to find an answer for that.
See what happens here. 2 mana.
Oh, there it is.
Borrower.
There's the answer.
Interesting.
Fire up Conclave, attack for 2.
Put Stewart to 10.
Interesting.
Maybe has a way in hand to deal with a Solitude that's not unresolved. Or a Solitude that's on the stack.
Right. I don't know if I guess Drew valued getting it in the 2 damage more than maybe resolving the borrower. Maybe he feels like he can protect the borrower. Oh, ice.
Ice, tap Conclave.
That's pretty good.
Still has 5 mana up for Solitude. Draws a land. Has Dress Down in hand. Vantress. That is extremely good here. Notably, Drew has that card as well.
Blast Zone on 1. Now, Vantress would be a good one to Spreading Seas for future Spreading Seas draws.
This is Vantress. Scry 2, 1 top, 1 bottom. Well, Skyler, notably, five cards in hand now.
That's a lot of cards. So I think I see an Archmage's Charm.
Yeah, so Charm, Dress Down, Solitude, Prismatic Ending, and Hollowed Fountain.
So all the answers.
Yeah. Very difficult for me to see. I mean, the Prismatic Ending cannot answer Fairy Conclave.
Oh, because it's a non-land permanent?
No, because it is a land.
Right.
Oh, yeah, because Prismatic Ending, and it's also a sorcery. So very difficult. Sure. Very difficult for it to answer without a small Teferi in play.
Mm-hmm.
Charm to draw 2.
See, maybe it looks like another Solitude in hand. There's Svelin.
So Solitude, Svelin, and I believe what was another Archmage's Charm. Or no, Counterspell. So 2 Solitudes, a Prismatic Ending, Counterspell, and a 5th card. Pumps the Blast Zone to 3.
There we go.
That's one way to deal with it. I kind of like just casting Solitude as a beater here. Because you've got a second one in hand. Like, end step, flash, flash in the Solitude.
Threads. See if Drew has a counterspell. I see he put a Chalice to the back. So that resolves. Yikes.
That's not good.
Poor Drew.
Yeah, obviously. Great for Stewart here.
He does have a lot of life. Drew does have a lot of life to play with from those Solitudes.
Ending for 2. I think targeting
Spreading Seas on
on the red source.
Red source. Yep. There's a hole.
A little slow here, I think. Especially with ice in hand. Scry's 2. Top card is Counterspell. Puts them both on top in reverse order.
Reverse order top.
Picks up a March.
Okay.
Which is 4 mana, kill. Or no, 5 mana because he can't cast March X1.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because of Chalice. Flashes in Borrower. On the end step.
See a fire here?
Yeah. 1/1.
The borrower has been fired.
Lost its job. Notably, Drew should have taken a damage there, so should be at 15.
I'll just fire deal 1 to.
Up to 2 targets. 2 damage divided as you would like between any targets.
Sure, and maybe.
Yep, they're getting it right now.
Stuart, yeah.
Yep, there we go. Got the 2 on that, then the 1 on that, and then the 3 from the Solitude.
Sweet.
Flashback Deluge. I can't imagine he lets this resolve. Yeah.
Pick your poison.
Turns out, dig through time. Oh, force, pitch, subtlety. Met by second counterspell. Oof.
He's drawn all 4 counterspells.
Yeah. That's, I mean, good art on those counterspells, but
It is.
Crystal and Paul won their first games.
Ooh, thank you, Easy Media, for the update.
Yeah.
What a champion. Ooh, that is a countered. I don't know if they saw that. Right, because the 3 is the ward. What we were talking about.
Yeah, the
was
ward.
4 paid for the.
Oh, interesting. They did scoop it up though.
Yes,
So
which is an action that can't be
we can't
interacted with.
Can't do anything about that one.
I think Drew was extra behind in that game.
Anyway, yeah, I think there was not. Anyway, he was coming back from that one.
So, looking at the sideboards here.
Yeah.
So for Skyler, we got the 2 Blossoming Calm, a couple Dobin's Vetoes, 2 Shark Typhoons, Path to Exile, a Heliod's Intervention, 2 Summary Dismissal, a couple Lavinias, and a couple Ashioks. I like the Shark Typhoons here, right? Threats that can't be counter-spelled.
Yep. I also like the vetoes. The vetoes are very good in this matchup.
Yeah, you got a lot of cards that you're wanting to board out. I guess he only has 2 Chalice of the Void.
Yeah, Snapple. If it was pay 1 for March and then 3 for Ward, it would have been countered by the Chalice. Is what we were looking at. Because the Chalice would counter the March X1. If he pitched a white card from his hand, though, which
we might have missed that.
Which he could have done. That would have also raised the CMC to 3.
Mm-hmm.
So we couldn't quite see that. We did just see the 4 mana get tapped, though. But yeah, I think Heezy pointing out he's down in the feature match area that the Jaces and the Mystical Disputes come in for
Drew.
For Drew. And
I mean, he's a mono blue player. We can call him Drew Jace.
Fair enough. He's bringing in Jace, bringing in Mystical Dispute, which are both good cards. It's hard for me to imagine any of the, what are they called? The Chalices staying in on either side.
Right.
Frees up a lot of room. I'd like to see the Shark Typhoons from Sky Baby and the Dovin's Vetoes. And potentially the Summary Dismissals.
Extra interaction.
Maybe it just really depends on where he wants to go with his list. I don't think the Dress Downs are particularly great in this matchup.
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine those come out too. And Supreme Verdict. Maybe Tremor Verdict. It's hard to say because Verdict is also one of the best answers he has to just a board that gets developed by Drew.
Yeah. I like Skyler's list. I think this is actually I'm pretty close to having some of these things, so I might actually put that together.
So Aspiring Skyke and Harry MTG earlier today posted a blue-white list that actually looks fairly similar to Skyler's.
Sweet.
That have been like 10-0ing, I guess. 10-0 or 2 leagues with Spike and 24-1 with Harry. So list is doing well. Obviously, those 2 are fantastic pilots. Paul has a Lavinia. I mean, yes, they could be. Lavinia out against Living End. Yikes. So Living End just loses, right? That's what happens now. I guess they could bounce it with Borrower.
Oh.
I can't imagine.
Or the turtle.
The turtle, the turtle. The turtle could do it.
Channel turtle ball.
Oh my gosh. Big yikes indeed. I'm loving the updates about the other matches.
Yes, that's awesome. All right. So, team 3-star Drew is looks like his hand is satisfactory. He's going to keep.
I will note I will note, Drew did mull to 5 that game
Right.
and put up what I felt like to be a pretty good fight. Dealt with his felon when it came down.
Mhm.
Seemed really good. I imagine that,
For the 5-card hand, that was quite
Yeah.
the fight.
as I say, we got all the way out to a point where he was activating Hall, potentially racing a Solitude. So, but here we go, down to 6 for Skyler.
Okay, Emperor, Fire, Ice.
Puts
Emperor straight to the
Emperor-
bottom.
Second Emperor in hand, though. Draws the 3rd land, I think, is what that was.
Well, it was the one he drew went right into play.
Yeah, no, he only has one other land in hand.
Whew.
Veto. Or no, maybe it's 2 lands in hand
Yeah, I think I see a plains back there.
at the very back.
Yeah.
Could be Solitude, though. The art's on his cards. Taps a land down, draws a card, untaps. I think he's looking for a 3rd land. Finds it in a tapped hall. Drew another Wandering Emperor. Or no, that's March. God, those arts. Oh, there is another plains, it looks like. Yeah, that is a plains. Okay, digging himself out of low mana count here. Crystal 1, Paul 1. Nice.
So that's a Murktide and a Hammer Time.
Yes, it is.
And step we see a Deluge from Mr. Drew. Skyler has the answer and Dobin's veto in hand. See if he deploys it here. Oh, he's going to take this opportunity to resolve, or try to resolve a Wandering Emperor.
I would imagine this gets forced. Yeah, this seems right to me. Force pitch counterspell, though. Feels a little weird, but I think
It exiles the spell,
Yeah.
right?
it does exile the Wandering Emperor.
So
That is
needs to go
important.
into the, I don't know if there's a way.
I don't think there is.
To like bring it back or delve.
Yeah, I don't think
But-
so. We have Clint back in the chat.
Welcome back, Mr. Clint. Oh, and here's the sideboard tech.
The
Jace, Architect of Thought,
I,
with Dispute up.
but I mean, Skyler's tapped out. So
Yeah.
I assume this is the mini factor fiction. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, dude.
We get to- I can't believe this is in the sideboard over like Mind Sculptor.
Islands, Spellum, and Mystical Dispute.
I mean, I guess we don't know the contents of Drew's hand, but otherwise wouldn't be super surprised to see him take this spell in here. We've got Spencer Howland back in the booth with us after giving us updates on every other match.
Enters the arena.
Yeah, the chat was interested in some of the other matches, so I thought but I have a bigger update.
Go.
Big update for Team No Splits.
Go for it.
We once again we're going to have no split
Amazing.
for top 4.
I
Team
like
no
it.
Splits gets the W this weekend.
Throws the mic drop.
Only reason he
Just
came
for
in.
Team No Splits. That Wandering Emperor I think needs to be in the exile zone. It was force negationed.
Plus on the Jace, I don't even know all the modes on this Jace.
Yeah, I remember I played a lot. This is when I came back to Magic. Was Return to Ravnica times. So attacking creatures your opponents control get -1/-0 until the next turn.
Okay.
That's his plus. The minus is the baby factor fiction.
Mm-hmm.
And then the ultimate. I don't know exactly what number the ultimate's on, but you can go and get a card from your deck and your opponent's deck and cast them without paying their mana costs.
It's -8 on the ultimate,
Yes.
which we could see.
It's possible. It's not.
It's not likely.
Impossible.
Also, this is probably fairly good against 4-color if you can go tutor stuff out of their deck.
Right.
I'm just
yeah.
gonna go take your Emrakul.
Yes, I think that's part of the joke, right? Is let me get your Emrakul. I'll Emrakul you.
I mean, the amount of Emrakuls Skyler got game 1, Clint. The amount of Emrakuls that were out and about today, though, was not low. Like, there were a lot of Promise Ends hanging out, a lot of Titan, and a lot of 4-color. Notably, we don't have that many of either of them in the top 8.
Right. Yeah, because I don't think we saw an Emrakul in the Chris
Gotcha.
Choi list.
Yeah. So it looks like update from Spencer on this match. Drew is almost entirely full of permission in his hand.
Oh.
Notably, kind of sucks against the veto in Skyler's hand, but
It's okay. Veto does not answer the subtlety.
no, it does not. The Solitude does, though, right? So 5-mana Solitude. Interesting choice. Meets Counterspell, gets Counterspelled, passes the turn. Main phased Solitude. Interesting. Maybe trying to use the choke on mana. Once again, Fact or Fiction. Dress Down. Notably, I think that's in his sideboard. Yeah, in his sideboard.
In the Dress Down.
I think the reasoning is it's very good against the elementals, which is what Skyler is using to interact.
And here we have another impossible choice with Svelum.
Yeah, I don't remember what he took last time. Spencer walked in right when that occurred. Let me give you
the 2-card pile.
Yeah, so he took the Mystical Dispute in the land. Looks like he's doing taking the 2-card pile and putting this felon on the bottom.
That's generally the best route.
Yeah, so top 8, Clint, was Crystal Feltz on Murktide, Quentin Pierce also on Murktide? Yeah, also on Murktide. Paul Berman on Hammer Time, Drew Walden on our fantastic mono blue deck that we're watching right now, Skyler Stewart on blue white, Braden Derfler on
is that our Living End player?
I think he is on Living End. I think
sure.
Either that or Rhinos, and then Chris Choi
on
Elementals, which is against Murktide, which notably is the only other match that we have not finished. We do know that Crystal Feltz won her match against Spencer Dunyan, and that Paul beat Braden on Hammer Time beat Murktide on Braden, or beat I cannot talk Living End from Derfler. Notably,
Counterspell being cast here on a Brazen Borrower.
I
doubt this resolves.
Yeah, I would assume that the veto. Oh. Just not fighting. Interesting. Yeah, Bill Clinton. Well, I don't know how to say that, but we're just gonna go with Bill. Yeah, it is very similar to M. Hayashi's mono blue build. So
QJ lost game 1.
Gotcha. So our number 2 seed lost to Elementals game 1, which that is not a great matchup for Murktide. Not at all. Double veto, and I feel like Skyler hasn't had the opportunity to use them.
Yeah, it's been Planeswalker and the subtlety is the creature.
Quentin is versus Chris Choi, who is on 4-color elementals with Risen Reefs and Flamekin Harbingers. Also, just noticed Skyler's only on 5 lands, and Drew has 7.
Yeah, I think that's been part of it, right? Is he hasn't had the opportunity to deploy his threats because that would take down his permission.
Yeah, which then stops him from interacting with anything that's happening on this side of the board.
Yeah.
So Solitude, March, or is that just 2 marches? It might just be 2 marches. No, that's definitely a Solitude.
Yep, Solitude, March, Emperor.
Is that Emperor or is that March?
There is also an Emperor in hand.
Okay. Yes, there is. You are correct. Those arts are like the same color. It drives me nuts.
That is the of someone. Skylar's movement indicated that he did not draw a land. hand.
Yeah, I think he's pretty frustrated by that. I mean, he's got 3 to 4 turns now. He has a way to interact with Hall, because he can pitch the Solitude and then just pay the 3 mana for Hall.
Yes.
Hey, Clint, be nice.
So we see he can hold up Archmage's Charm and Veto.
Oh, we're mini factor fictioning again.
This is the third one this game. I love it.
I've been. Okay. There is no good way to split this.
Yeah, I think I like this one. Where I don't know if you care too much about the yeah. So this I like the pick on this mini factor fiction. Drew identifying that like the information from Click to know what to interact with
Yeah.
is more valuable than the 2/3 ones that have the bounce spell.
Yeah, because
attached.
I don't think you're bouncing almost anything here. Like potentially a Wandering Emperor. But okay, so here's Click. Which I don't think Skyler can counter.
Don't know if he can use. Yeah, I don't know if he can use an Archmage's Charm on this.
What's up, Mason?
What's up, Mason Clark? The Mason Clark. How did your tournament go today? Looks like we might see the Archmage's Charm. He is going to try and counter Click. You see a Dispute. Veto Dispute.
Interesting.
And Dispute the Charm.
Yeah, this was what I was worried about with Skyler's constraint on mana.
And he can still leave open 2 blue for counterspell. So yeah, we see Solitude, March, Emperor, and I think it looks like another March.
Yeah, that art indicates to me that it is March.
And he says, just keep your hand. Keep it there.
Yeah, I don't
want you to draw a land, so you can go.
Yeah. All right, on to game 3. Yeah, he did play face up. Interesting.
Real MVP. It's like you've been on coverage before, right? Like,
please play with your lands face up. Okay, so what do we think we change anything going into game 3? So we did see the Castle Vantress come in for Drew as well, out of the sideboard, which is something we didn't talk about.
Oh yeah,
but weirdly is in the sideboard. Curious to ask Drew about that being there. Typically a little different
when you want an extra land.
Yeah, it's just because I think on the play in a matchup like this is where it's exactly. Oh, I know, Drew, or not Drew, Clint. How did Blue White win the first game? They just removed everything forever. Is basically what occurred.
Does what Blue White does.
It's for the grindier matchups. They bring in more cards. They cost more mana. That makes sense. Another Team 3-star fan hanging out in the chat. Well, Clint, if Drew qualifies, we have to talk him into coming, because I would like people to practice with.
Oh, just like coming to DreamHack?
Mm-hmm. Because Drew's only like 50-50 on whether or not he's going to go. Yeah, it is in November. So we got to get Scoop for prizes, except that you can't split the travel ticket.
It's true. And I think Spencer said there's team no splits for the next round too. So.
Oh, boo. What's up, Josh? Yeah, he did say he might go. He was talking about it to Jordan and Spencer, or at least in that area, that the voucher is a big incentive.
Right.
To want to go. Yeah, you better.
Yeah, it's tricky. I've got my weekends are very busy.
Yeah, I thought mine were
We're
gonna be
going to
busy.
be.
It's November 18th, so it's the weekend after Brothers War pre-release. So it's release weekend of Brothers War, which could have a huge impact on Pioneer.
Right. Yeah.
Specifically, I mean, Kaladesh, Mirrodin, like those blocks, the artifact blocks,
Mhm.
have been
Mhm.
super impactful on Eternal formats. And if Brothers War is the same, I cannot see a world where an artifact set does not basically break something.
Break it again.
I mean, Scrap Trawler is still legal in Pioneer.
I
so
love Scrap Trawler.
Me too, and it never does anything fair.
Oh, all right, so looks like Drew's taking a mulligan here.
Drew says he'll go too. I like it. Yeah, I am also going to Vegas, I believe.
I don't know if I can make it. We might make it to Vegas. It's
Yeah. So Skyler did keep at least one verdict in. This looks like 3-lander. Yeah. Almost every game.
Success rate is pretty high when he does have lead on the triome.
The triome,
so.
yeah.
Find another land there.
He's got 2 lands in hand.
Or a counterspell.
I know, I can't.
It looks like the island.
Yeah. Tap your thing, end of turn, draw a card. Draws Emperor, draws Shark Typhoon. It was an island.
Do we see a baby shark? 1/1.
Yep, we do.
Do.
Oh my god. we do indeed get a. Oh my goodness, do we not have a shark token?
I don't have a shark token. I did not do that one. I looked at the top like 8 decks on Goldfish, right?
Yeah.
Whatever the like metagame was there. I should have looked at the deck list that we had. But for my shark tokens, Jordan, I talked to him about it because I played in the Pioneer 1K.
Mm-hmm.
I use a giant shark from the dark.
Well, yeah. So if it's not
it's
legal,
not legal in the format,
yeah, you can use whatever. So I used to carry around. I was on this team when I played in Portland. I used to carry around an indestructible aura that would just be all of our tokens, like whatever I needed, because it's not legal in like any format. Skybaby has only complained once. He's got his game on. I like it. Shark versus Vendilion Click.
Now, is that in response to the attack?
Potentially? I think Skyler looks like he's going to say okay. Yep, says okay. Double verdict. He kept both verdicts in.
Okay.
I think that makes sense in regards to like killing things. QG's down a game and has put an 8/8 Murktide into play with 2 mana up. That tends to be
generally a good plan.
Good plan. Let's see. Leaves him with his hand.
Okay. Yep.
Double verdict, March, and
oh yeah, the Sunken
Emperor.
Ruins. Let's go.
Okay, what does this land do?
It's the filter land, so you can tap it for colorless, or
No, it has to be a blue-black
filter
to filter into.
Or sorry, blue or black to filter in to make 2 blue.
Interesting. Why? What are we playing that for?
Probably doesn't get boiled. I don't know.
You know what? I almost guarantee that's what it is. Because some of these lists were playing like Oboro and stuff.
Right.
So this is just another land that doesn't get boiled. Because I guess some of the. Oh yeah, I guess you feel pretty comfortable playing Jace into a hand there is no.
There's no counter spells?
If he does downtick though, it will die to Emperor Flash in, make a Samurai, untap, put a +1/+1 counter.
Right, or
just the shark.
So yeah, probably certainly going up here because it will negate the shark and turn the.
No. Going down. Maybe? Doesn't it start with 4?
Yeah, so 4 down to 2.
Looks like
so maybe so he's responding to the down tick
with
probably the Emperor.
I would assume, Emperor. Because this can't be forced. Interesting choice here from Drew.
Subtlety.
Oh, and we have learned as to Drew's machinations.
That's how he plans to keep his Jace alive. But what is he pitching? I don't
He's
think we've seen a
deciding.
card yet on that. Looks like another subtlety, possibly.
Subtlety? Yeah, subtlety pitching subtlety. I think with the knowing the contents of the hand, that's a really smart decision
Is
here.
he on top with his Emperor?
Yeah, he puts it on top.
Hmm.
He could just play it again and put a +1/+1 counter on the shark. Assuming, now there's a potential dismember. I think, yeah, that's correct because
It's kind of, well, yeah. So, with Borrow being 2 spells in 1,
yeah,
Drew already knows the contents of Skyler's hand.
yeah.
So it's like both of them are in an interaction. It's like, I'm playing face up, you play face up.
Then puts the Emperor face down, rethinks it, puts it back face
Yeah.
up.
Like, let's be fair here.
I think it's great. It makes it much easier to see what is going on when it is like this. So gets in with the shark.
No pump. Wow.
There it is.
There's the pump.
So I assume this is met with force? Yeah. Force, pitch, click. Yeah, this is looking pretty good for Drew. Notably, the last like 2 minutes or 3 minutes has been this single turn cycle. Very, very interactive. Point.
Oh, that's it. You can filter blue to be double black for dismember.
Oh my gosh.
I see it now.
And then it's in the chat now too. Thank you, Aaron, letting us know why we're worse at Magic than you are.
Hey, we're not necessarily worse. It takes us a minute sometimes to see everything. My head goes to, it can't get foiled. But filtering for black for dismember, because remember that first game we saw Drew take 8.
Yeah,
right
off of
from
the
his two dismembers.
Mm-hmm.
So
Deluge. Main phase deluge, but knowing that it's open.
Right. They can probably find another, couple free counter spells.
You're not the qualified one. It's okay. You'll get there.
Yeah,
I'm
not the
sure.
qualified one.
Hey, I qualified on pure luck. Just ask Clint.
One bow to the qualified one. No,
you do not.
Joking. And we see a blast zone for 1.
Okay, notably,
so dismember is up.
Blast zone. The more I see him use that blast zone, the better it gets. Just like watching him blow up the Svelin in game 1, and other times I've seen him use it today. It's been crazy. How was the judge conference, Aaron?
Oh right, that was today, huh? Yeah.
Brock was sad that he didn't get to go, as he was judging this RCQ, or is judging. I bet he's still here.
It's another plus on Jace, so the shark doesn't do anything when it attacks.
I feel
good
like
defense for the click here.
Yeah, I mean the click can just attack now, right?
No, so it triggers. It's a trigger that goes on the stack when the creatures attack. It's like a delayed trigger.
Oh, boo! I'm sorry, Aaron. That's interesting. I did not play with this card, so
it's one of my favorites.
Are we dismembering? We are dismembering the shark token.
Which one? This one. Take 4.
I think the assumption.
Because he didn't filter.
Yeah. So I'm going to assume that this means Skyler will Supreme Verdict here.
Right now he doesn't have a threat on.
Yeah. Now that he doesn't have anything.
15 to 10.
Second blast zone.
Right, because you really can't march the click with all that mana up.
Now Spencer firing off, but he's firing off in his own chat, so I guess I can't. Clint, I thought you said you were leaving. Do you have like a family to take care of?
Channel bounce
The
Jace
Jace?
AOT.
Nice. Fetch. Also, I do love you, Clint. I'm sorry. I'm being sassy. Kind of surprised at how long this turn cycle has been. The last 2 turns, I think, have taken a grand total of 15 minutes, which is longer than some games.
It's top 8. There's no time.
Oh, I know. I'm just impressed. Like, the amount of actions that are getting taken are pretty high, considering that they're both only have 5 or 6 mana. Or 6 mana both
now. Spencer, any QJ updates?
They went to game 3.
Game 3. Okay, so there's the verdict we were talking about. Pass it back. Oh, 2 blast zones. Let's go.
I don't know what we're blast zoning. Probably another Sphaloon.
If there's a land.
Interesting.
Put,
I think
put 'em
we're
over
gonna.
there together. Yeah.
We're gonna try and recast the Jace here. Would be my guess. Yeah. Down comes the Jace. Does Skyler have a counterspell? Probably drew Force for turn, but can't cast it.
Not this turn.
Vantress,
land,
Island, Sphaloon. Yeah, you have
Split
to.
the lands in there. Yep.
So
That's
you
the
do
split.
have Force. Oh.
Ooh. And splitting. I don't know if I like that split. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm taking the land and the threat, so that I can activate Hall next turn.
That's true. And you also get to deploy this Phalon here if you want to, if you have another blue card in hand, to protect it with the Force.
Sure.
Oh, well, I guess you can't beat Verdict.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I might like playing this Phalon maybe to get the Verdict out of Sky's hand to then attack with Hall, put him to 2.
He does have the March, though, which is 4 mana, kill Hall.
Yeah, but if he taps out for Verdict, he won't have the mana
you're right, you're right.
to kill.
I forget that
pitching.
not everything is free.
Right.
Casts Verdict, kills the thing. Yeah, now cannot pay for the... he is also at 9.
Yeah, that's what I say. He's like getting super close.
Yeah, because even if he pitches, he can't pay for the ward because it increases the X, cannot pay for the ward ability.
Right. Yeah.
Activates Hall.
Get in.
Goes to 2. It looks like Svelin and potentially a Force Negation in hand.
Plus Jace. Pass it back. So now, kind of have to leave up the 4 mana to.
You can
play a
block with the Svelin,
sure.
right? Interesting choice. I think you probably just activate the Hall again, right?
Blast zone. Let's go.
Oh, bounce.
Dismember.
Dismember the thing.
Now you have
doesn't-
to fight over this, right?
Yeah.
Because you won't be able to. Nope. Doesn't have it.
I think that's it. Maybe
Enemy
activate,
Hall,
attack.
you.
I don't know what else he doesn't have. I mean, you cast it and get it countered by ward.
Ward 3 is so tricky.
Oh.
Oh, showing path to exile and Svelin, so he couldn't fight over the dismember.
Nothing to fight over. So I think that's it.
Yeah, that's the game.
I think Skyler is. Yeah, did need Solitude.
Yep.
Yeah, because I don't know. I think it was maybe dangerous to tap out for this Phalon. He is.
Yeah.
He is on 4 copies of Solitude.
Yes.
That's brutal. Yeah, he does play Crazyless. I guess there's a world where he plays Dress Down and turns off the ward and then kills it with the...
Mm-hmm.
But I think he boarded his dress downs out, whereas Drew kept his dress downs in. Yeah, yes. It is a really cool list, though. Very similar to the one that Harry MTG and Aspiring Spike have been talking about today. Obviously came to the conclusion on his own. Did a really cool interview with him earlier, talking about the Fire Ices and how he feels about the deck and tuning it. Basically told me he went through Bant and Esper first. But yeah, let's we will transition out for a little bit to get our next match up and going.